A flag isn't just a piece of fabric, right? It's more like the biography of a nation, stitched together with threads of rebellion, growth, and even conflict. Every single star, every stripe, they all tell a story, changing with every new chapter of history.
So how exactly did we get the flag we all recognize today? Well, the story doesn't start with just one banner. It starts with many. We've got to go back in time to the very first flags of rebellion, flown right in the face of an empire. All right, so long before the United States was even a country, colonists were using all sorts of different flags to show they were getting pretty fed up with British rule. These weren't national symbols yet. They were raw signals of protest. One of the very first was the Sons of Liberty flag. If you were walking the streets of colonial Boston, you would have seen this. Its alternating red and white stripes were a really simple but, man, a powerful symbol of resistance. This really represented the first stirrings of a unified and very defiant American identity. And that wasn't the only one. There were other really powerful symbols out there. Take the Gadsden flag, the yellow one with the coiled rattlesnake. It became a favorite of sailors in the Revolutionary War. And the message? Totally unmistakable. Don't tread on me. A crystal clear warning to anyone who would try to impose their will. So you've got this whole collection of rebel banners flying around. How in the world did they all start to crystallize into one single national emblem? Well, the idea of unity was starting to take shape, and it was literally being stitched together in fabric and thread. And here it is, the Continental colors, the very first flag shared by all the colonies. It was hoisted over Revolutionary War camps, and its design, it just perfectly captures a nation in transition. You've got the stripes of rebellion, but look, in the corner, it still has the British Union Jack. It's this visual link to both the past they were leaving behind and the future they were fighting for. But pretty soon, that Union Jack was replaced. In its place came 13 stars in a circle, meant to symbolize a new constellation in the night sky. And that circular pattern? Totally intentional. It meant that all states were equal, with no single state positioned above another. And this is where you see the real genius of the design. The flag was built to be a living symbol. The founders created something that could literally change and expand right alongside the nation itself. First, it's 13 stars and stripes. Then, by 1795, 2 more states join, so they add 2 more stars and 2 stripes. Finally, in 1818, they set the rule we know today. Keep the 13 stripes for the original colonies, and just add a new star for every new state. Now, this evolving symbol was about to be immortalized in one of the most dramatic moments in the nation's early history. We're talking about the War of 1812 and the brutal, night-long siege of Fort McHenry. The flag flying over the fort that night wasn't the original 13-star version. By then, it had already grown to 15 stars and 15 stripes, thanks to Vermont and Kentucky. And this thing was a massive banner. I mean, huge. Specifically designed so it could be seen from miles away. And just imagine, after a full night of nonstop cannon fire and explosions, the sun comes up and the sight of that 15-star flag still waving in the morning light, well, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write the words that would eventually become the national anthem. The flag had become a symbol of sheer endurance. But a symbol's meaning is truly forged in times of conflict. For the American flag, its greatest tests would come when the nation was at war with itself, revealing how it could both unite people and divide them. During the Civil War, the flag became an incredibly powerful, defining symbol for the Union. For the soldiers marching into battle, it represented the very idea they were fighting to preserve: one single, indivisible nation. So while the U.S. flag rallied Union forces, the Confederacy, of course, adopted its own distinct banners. These opposing flags became these really potent symbols of the nation's profound division, flown on opposite sides of the battlefield. By the time we get to the 20th century, the flag story had gone completely global. During World War II, the 48-star version became an emblem recognized all around the world, flying on ships, on bases, and in liberated towns all across Europe and the Pacific. All right, so the final chapter of the flag's design evolution wasn't actually forged in conflict, but in expansion. These last changes took place in the peaceful, but definitely politically charged atmosphere of the mid-20th century. Now here's a great piece of trivia. For a very brief period, from 1959 to 1960, the official U.S. flag actually had 49 stars. This was right after Alaska achieved statehood, a symbol of the nation officially reaching its vast northern frontier. But that 49-star flag was really short-lived. Just 1 year later, that final star clicked into place, creating the modern constellation that we all know today, a design that has now remained unchanged for over 60 years. With the addition of Hawaii in 1959, the modern 50-star flag was created and officially adopted on July 4th, 1960. This is the version that has flown through the Cold War, the space race, and right on into the 21st century. So after all of this incredible history, what does the flag mean today? Well, its story is still going, woven into the fabric of American life in countless ways, representing everything from massive national celebrations to the most personal, solemn moments of loss. I mean, we see it everywhere, right? It's raised in classrooms, cheered at sporting events, and waved proudly in parades. It's the backdrop for so much celebration and a core part of civic identity, especially at military bases and gatherings for veterans. But maybe its most profound role today is as a symbol of sacrifice. In the precise, silent folding of the flag at a military ceremony, it becomes this final, solemn token of respect for those who served under it. And that brings us right to the present. The flag really is a living document, a visual biography of a nation. Its story is still being written by every generation that flies it. The only question is, what will its next chapter say?